If you own a GT Amiga Titan, this might be of interest. Featuring a 2-inch diameter steel tube framework and a sleek black powder coated finish, as described by GT Amiga themselves, the Titan is supposed to offer unmatched stability out of the box with even the most powerful wheel and pedal sets. However, not being an AT20 rig, it does limit itself with its customizability, and in that, its ability to mount bass shakers. Given that the word Titan stands for one that is gigantic in size or power and stands out for greatness of achievement, this didn't sit right. So I set out to mount 6 50-watt bass shakers to make this statement a little more applicable. Let's see how I did it. The first problem you're going to have is the seat. Now, you want the vibrations as close to your body as possible so you can feel them. It's very difficult to feel separation from side to side. I did try mounting them on the left and the right hand side of the rig, but if I'm honest, didn't really feel a difference. The best solution I found was to mount them directly beneath your bum. I decided to go for 4 bass shakers beneath the seat because then I could have differentiation between the different effects rather than them all getting muddy at the same time with lots of effects going through a single shaker. If you have a bucket seat, that's a completely different ball game, and I'll leave a link just above if you want to check that video out. Let's have a bit of a closer look to see how I've mounted these. Now you'll notice the GT Amiga has a seat bracket which doesn't have anywhere to mount these on, so you're going to have to fashion a mounting plate. Now what I've used here is a thick piece of MDF, and I've drilled through that frame and subsequently through the MDF sheet in order to bolt it to it. Now if we have a look at it with the rig turned up, we can get a much better idea of how these all sit. Now I went for 4 bass shakers. Now depending on your chosen bass shaker, you're going to have to map this out and template it out. And it's just a case of basically bolting everything tight to it. You've got to be accurate with your measurements when you're drilling through the steel frame because you've got to make sure it aligns absolutely perfectly with the MDF. Then it's a simple case of using washers and bolts, and I would advise nylon threaded nuts to minimize any movement with vibration. And you want this tight and snug at multiple mounting points so it doesn't vibrate with the bass shaking. To secure the mounting plate to the main square frame, I would advise a large bolt and make sure that you use lots of lubricant when you're drilling through the metal so it doesn't heat. And then you're going to want to drill with 4mm mounting holes for the bass shakers. Here I've used PUI Audio. If you want to find out the best bass shaker for sim racing, I'll leave a video link just at the top there because the opinion has now changed. If I did this again, I wouldn't use PUI Audio. I wasn't particularly impressed with them. Maybe something like the Dayton BST1. Or my personal favourite, the Aurasound 50-watt bass shaker. Again, I'll leave a link to that just above. Let's deal with the pedal deck. Now this did benefit from some left-right separation, and as you can see here, I've used an MDF sheet again, cut exactly to size to go between the pedal deck and the GT Amiga Titan, and I've bolted it tightly to it. What I will mention here is the MDF sheet is fairly well compressed, but you will get a teeny tiny little bit of flex, and I torque these up really tight with a torque wrench. However, I felt that the immersion payoff was significant enough that I was happy to tolerate this. You could try this with a metal sheet. I just didn't have the facility to cut metal to size and also to accurately drill, and I just needed a bit of play in order to try and get this mounted exactly to it. So you've got to drill through the pedal plate, through the MDF sheet where you've got to mark it up, and then straight into the Amiga Titan and then bolt it beneath, and it can be quite challenging. Ultimately, I thought this was absolutely fantastic. It added a lot of immersion to me, and I was very happy I did it. For those of you that follow the channel, you'll know I've recently moved on to a SimLab P1X, of which I'm very happy with, but as an intermediate rig, I felt the GT Amiga Titan was fantastic. If you like this content and you found value, please hit like, please hit subscribe. If you'd like to see any more content about the Titan or you have any further questions, let me know in the comments below. And from me, the GT Amiga Titan, happy sim racing. Bye for now.